Foods and beverages are probably the easiest and most well-known way to express the culture of any country. It is very surface level, but there's no denying that with every country you know, you usually can associate it with certain foods or beverages. So creating a set of meals and a certain type of drink that are either unique or just commonly associated with your culture makes it easier for you or your players and readers to easily distinguish your culture from the rest. But the same goes the other way around. A dish says way more about the culture, its material condition, and the way it lives than one might think. Hello, I'm the Worldbuilding Sage, and in this video I'll provide you with inspirations on dishes and beverages for your own worlds. I'll provide you with inspirations on dishes and beverages, how they came to be associated with the cultures they are eaten in, a quick set of questions that might help you to start off your worldbuilding process, and at the end of the video we'll create both a dish and a beverage together. A schnitzel is a thin slice of meat, thinned by pounding, usually breaded before frying, depending on the variant. And a schnitzel can be served with steamed or roasted potatoes, fries, a salad, spätzle, or whatever else. It's a staple of South German cuisine, most associated with Vienna and Austria. There are many tales on where the dish comes from, which are all rubbish and have no historical basis. It's not like breading a slice of meat is the most extravagant and unique way to create a dish anyways. But the mythological history of the schnitzel isn't that important to the actual dish. The cultural impact, however, is. You can get a schnitzel pretty much everywhere in German-speaking countries and wherever else they had their influences in Europe and beyond. The veal variant from Vienna may be an exception, but the schnitzel is historically an affordable way to give meat a bit of taste. Besides, it perfectly encapsulates the German-speaking hearty meat-based cuisine, while having many variants that reflect the different regional tastes while being eaten by every social class. There's the already mentioned original Wiener Schnitzel from Vienna that's traditionally made from veal. There's Rahmschnitzel, also made from veal, but without the breading and covered in a hearty cream sauce. Both of those comfort the capital's richer palate well. Then there's Jägerschnitzel or Hunter's Schnitzel that is served with a mushroom sauce, historically because the hunters collected the mushrooms for the dish during their workday. Then there's Krüstchen, originating in the region around Cologne. The Krüstchen is served on bread with an egg, which historically has been a way to circumvent Catholic Lent. Drinks, on the other hand, are a bit different. Many of the same drinks are more commonly widespread around the world. Many cultures share similar or pretty much the same kind of drinks, while only their regional variants keep being different in their own samey way. Usually those beverages depend on the local mass-produced crop. Beer, of course, is the most obvious of examples and can be brewed in so many ways that I'll never be able to stop talking about it when started. And the way it's brewed and its ingredients differ from region to region to accommodate the regional yield. But this can be said for most commonly known types of alcohol in a region. Southern Europe is known for their wines. Sunny regions and hillsides make it easy for them to grow vast amounts of grapes. Rum, on the other hand, is associated with pirates and seafarers because of the vast amounts of sugar canes growing in the Caribbean colonies in the past, while many different kinds of juices depend on the fruit that grows nearby. To conclude both examples, the key ingredient to cook good beverages and a meal befitting your cultures are local resources and their rarity on the one hand, and the general food culture your people have. Remember that some cultures grow lots of feed to feed their livestock, while others grow more crops for human usage, which both tend to depend on climate and land usage. So depending on the focus of your agriculture, your cuisine should be more or less meat-based. So let's get together a set of questions for your dishes and beverages, but not before reminding you to leave a comment dependent on the ways your world's people fill their stomachs and get by day by day. And if you are already at it, like and subscribe of course. Anyways, to think of your dish, you first need to know what your culture feeds off and what type of crops they yield, what livestock they keep, their local wildlife for hunting and gathering, and so on and so on. This again of course depends on other factors like climate and material conditions. When you've got that said, think about the social class your dish or beverage might serve. Of course, high cuisine needs more noble of ingredients, sometimes from outside your region. Their palate is more extravagant, more gluttonous, or just different for the sake of being different. Even if it's a dish all social classes of your culture tend to eat or drink, the higher classes tend to put a cherry on top of the dish, sometimes in the literal sense. The same thing applies for beverages. There are beverages the lower classes can only dream to drink, while others might not be touched by the higher classes, even with a glove. This finally brings us to the actual dish or beverage. What is it? What is it made of? What does it taste like? What does it smell or feel like? This is the main part of your process, and of course, the point where you can truly put your thinking muscles into motion. The palates of your culture are one of the primary ways to represent your culture. So don't squander your chance to make your meal be easily associated with your culture. It doesn't even need to be an extravagant or special, or overstimulating for that matter. A good piece of meat served in a special kind of way is fine enough. To help, you might think about the rarity of your dish, or if it's only eaten during a certain holiday or a special occasion, or if it's an everyday dish or beverage. Some meals and drinks can only be feasibly served during certain seasons of the year, which usually causes them to be associated with certain holidays. So if you have some holidays around already, connect your holidays with that dish. And of course, think about the way your dish might be prepared and served. Sometimes this could be a spectacle on its own. Our dish brings us back to the roots of Untergrombach. The mountainous region is known for its dangerous forests, beset with wild beasts, and its Gromsfolk people who venture out to slay said beasts in defense of their homes. Every time one of the bigger ones gets slain, parts of them get ritually consumed during a feast held for the entire town, and sometimes region. In this case, we'll use the earwurts, a monster I've presented in my How to Create a Monster video. Wink wink. The earwurts is a plant monster, or rather a root monster. Yet, due to his high magical density, its corpus has a certain sweetness to it that makes it into a highly potent sweetener and sought after ingredient for many dishes. Instead of using it for pastries, the people of Untergrombach use the sweetener for one dish and one drink each. For the dish, the unique sweet taste of the earwurts might not be the core ingredient, but it's definitely the ingredient that makes it most unique. The monster's root's spicy sweetness perfectly complements the dish. It's similar to real world's beef stroganoff. They take strips of beef and cook it in a mushroom cheese sauce they serve with a good piece of bread. Despite the fatty base of the sauce, they mix the spicy sweetness of the earwurts into the sauce that runs like honey down your throat when eating it, while giving a spicy cheesy aftertaste thanks to the sauce itself. And well, the strips of beef round everything up with their beefy flavor. The dish is the favorite dish of the local fairy that protects the town, called Bavette. The cheesy mushroom sauce, including the earwurts' roots, fill your stomach for several days and keeps you fresh and satiated for just as long, without causing any indigestion or other complications. The earwurts rum, on the other hand, is a bit more extravagant. Originally created by an outsider in town, the rum quickly became a staple whenever an earwurts was slain. The rum is sweet, while one shot alone burns in your throat. Its alcohol is strong enough to keep you tipsy for an entire night. Its other more alchemical properties, it keeps your hair full and more voluminous. Drinking too much might cause your hair growth to go haywire for several days, however, so keep yourself from going overboard. so you neither suffer from headaches nor meter-long hair. That's it for today's video, world builders. I hope you liked it. If you do, think about leaving a like and maybe even subscribe. And I'd really appreciate a comment about your dishes and drinks in your world. See ya!